What's going on, everybody? Spunky 991 coming guys another video, coming to you guys with my Eagles Cowboys Week 12 preview. So the Eagles come into this game on a 3-game win streak. Another week, defeating the Detroit Lions, which was huge. So another week of the offense struggling, barely able to put up points, but the defense showing up and playing one hell of a game. Yeah, you guys, if you saw my post-game recap on that Eagles-Lions game, I was very happy about what our defense did, but this offense continues to be frustrating to watch. And, I'm like, as great as our defense has been these past few weeks, Green Bay and Detroit shutting down both of those offenses, as great as they've been, they need more contribution from the offense. And we're going up against the Dallas Cowboys offense that also can put up a lot of points. And if the defense is not holding up and your offense is not, responding, then you got a problem. Coming to this game, man, obviously hoping the defense has a phenomenal day. Hoping our offense has a phenomenal day. They're going up against a pretty bad Dallas Cowboys defense. So if they're not able to score points on this defense, then we got a problem. That's just keeping it real. If they are not able to put up points against this Dallas Cowboys defense that Russell Wilson carved up, that just by every team they played had Jacoby Brissett with Arizona Cardinals carved them up. Caleb Williams with Chicago Bears carved them up. So if they're not able to put up at least 20 plus points on this defense, then we got a problem on offense. Everybody keeps saying that, oh, it's Kevin Petula. And don't get me wrong, Kevin Petula sucks. I want Kevin Petula gone. However, you can't continue to just sit there and say it's all the offensive coordinator. There's clearly something that's not clicking with execution on that field. And these guys are professionals. They need to figure it out. And they need to come together quickly. The whole thing, let's just blame Kevin Petula 100% for everything. No, Kevin Petula's not out there playing. He's not out there playing football. It starts at the top on the offense, which is Jalen Hurts. Love Jalen Hurts. I root for this guy, but he has got to get a better sync with his receivers. He has got to stop trying to force the ball downfield for the big play when it's not there. And that's stuff that really irritates me when I watch Jalen Hurts play. Trying to chuck it down there, he was trying his best to get the ball to A.J. Brown against Detroit, and he did. He targeted him 11 times and completed 7 passes. But there were times where you're like, come on, man, that's not a good read. So these guys on offense, man, the guys who are making the millions of dollars, that's the players. They have got to come together. And I'm not gonna sit here and just say there's not other factors that's caused this offense to struggle. The O-line has not been what it was in the past. The O-line deal with injuries. Lane Johnson's going to be out. Cam Jurgens been battling injuries. Landon Dickinson been battling injuries. So I get it. But these guys are still professionals. The next man has to step up, and they have to make plays. Get now to this preview. Coming into this game, the Eagles have won 3 straight games against the Dallas Cowboys. The last time the Eagles met the Cowboys was in Week 1, the season opener. Eagles took that victory. The Dallas Cowboys come into this game with a 4-5-1 record, winning on Monday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders in a blowout. The Eagles, if they beat the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow afternoon, and if they beat the Chicago Bears next Friday night football, Black Friday, then the Eagles clinch the NFC East, which I think this will be the earliest anybody has clinched the NFC East in a very long time. It would be the very first time that anybody has won the NFC East back to back since the Philadelphia Eagles did in 2004, 2005. So there's quite a bit on the line here. This game will not clinch the NFC East, but it puts the Eagles a step closer where the following week they can clinch the division by winning this game. So, yeah. Looking at the injury report here, No, the injury report, not a surprise. Lane Johnson is out. He's going to be out for quite some time later on this season. Questionable in this game. Offensive tackle Miles Hinton, center Cam Jurgens, who I mentioned earlier, with a concussion. Miles Hinton has a back injury. Guard center Willie Lampkin is dealing with a knee injury. So, yeah. When it comes to Dallas Cowboys, questionable offensive tackle Hakeem Adeniji dealing with a injury, illness. Jadeveon Clowney is dealing with a shoulder neck injury. He is questionable as well. I'm expecting him to play. I don't think there's any way that Jadeveon Clowney doesn't play. So yeah, that's the injury report right now as it currently stands. Keys to victory are always the same. It starts up front, big guys in the trenches. Those guys have to set the tone for the game. And in this game, Jalen Carter, who was the first matchup this season against the Dallas Cowboys, he got pulled from the game because he spit on Dak Prescott. Even though if you look at Dak Prescott spit in his direction, they winked first, but that was obviously overlooked. They didn't say anything about that, but neither here nor be. But he did not play that. He started that game early. He started that game and got pulled out very early before the damn first play was snapped for spitting on Dak Prescott. I do believe that he will be a lot more disciplined this time around, and I do think Jalen Carter will be playing with a kind of personal edge in this game, which is good for us as Eagles fans. But the keys to victory are very simple, man. It starts with the big man up front, offensive line, defensive line. Those guys set the tone for the game. First and foremost, starting off with this game, the Eagles must take away the Dallas Cowboys running game. You got to take away the Dallas Cowboys running game. Do not allow them to run all over us. Take away the running game, first and foremost. Force Dak Prescott to have to put that ball in the air. And Dak Prescott's one of those quarterbacks, even though he's a 10-year veteran, he is still very prone to turnovers. If you can get this guy, uncomfortable in that pocket, if you can force the pressure on him, which we've been doing very well on defense these past few weeks, get the pressure on him. Jalen Phillips, Brandon Graham when he's out there, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Moro Jomo, Jalen Hunt, those big guys up front, man. Get the pressure on Dak Prescott. Let's try to force him to make mistakes in this game. Obviously, going up in this game, you're going up against two very quality weapons: CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver, George Pickens as well, wide receiver. Another guy that you have to watch out for is Cavante Turpin at wide receiver as well. These guys are Jalen Tolbert's another one. These guys are very good weapons for Dak Prescott. Very, very good receiving core. The tight end for them is Jake Ferguson, who is a chain mover in this league. He moves those chains. He's very effective for the Cowboys at tight end. But like I said, take away the running game first and foremost, and get the pressure on Dak Prescott. We cannot allow Dak Prescott to feel comfortable in that pocket. If you allow Dak Prescott to get comfortable in that pocket, then he can pick you apart. So getting that pressure on Dak Prescott, we'll take away the running game, getting that pressure on Dak Prescott, and forcing many 3 and outs in this game, or getting them off the field before they get in scoring position. Keys to victory on offense, like I said, we always start up front, the big man up front. We're dealing with no Lane Johnson this game. Cam Jurgens is banged up. I do expect Cam Jurgens to play. Haven't heard official word on that yet, but even if he doesn't play, next man is up. Get that running game going, because I do believe that we can run all over this Cowboys defense. I do believe Saquon Barkley can have another 100-yard performance this game. He had I think it was like 80 yards against the not 80 yards. He had over 100 yards against the Giants the previous week. He didn't get 100 yards against the Lions. So this will be his second 100-yard rushing game of the season. I do believe he very well could do that. So get Saquon Barkley going. Get Tank Bigsby, who has been absolutely a great trade for the Eagles. Get him involved. Get that guy involved. Will Shipley when he's out there. AJ Dillon, I don't expect. I think they pretty much given up on AJ Dillon. I don't think he's gonna be on the field at all. But get that running game going. That will open up things. In the passing game. Play action pass to Dallas Goedert. This secondary of the Dallas Cowboys, Tavon Diggs, I've always thought he was an overrated corner. Bland, their cornerback. I said Tavon Diggs already, but I've always thought Bland also. The other corner they have is he's that guy that that Devontae Smith has burned quite a bit throughout his career, and I don't really fear the Dallas Cowboys corners. I don't. Their secondary, I don't fear their secondary. Malik Hooker, is a guy that can't stay healthy. Excuse me. He's a guy that can't stay healthy. I really don't fear this Dallas Cowboys secondary. Now their front seven, they did bring in Quentin Williams. They traded for him. Jadeveon Clowney is another guy that you have to watch out up front. The linebacker core, the linebacker core is it's okay, I guess. Okay linebacker core, but that secondary, I think Jalen Hurts can have a field day on that secondary. I think both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown can have potentially 100 yards receiving on this Dallas Cowboys secondary. So I see this as being a game where we can run and pass very effectively against this defense. The Dallas Cowboys defense has been giving up yards and touchdowns all season, and if we don't go out here and have our best offensive performance of the season, then that's a problem. Russell Wilson carved this secondary up. Caleb Williams carved this secondary up. Jacoby Brissett carved this secondary up. Who else? Bryce Young carved this secondary up. So if Jalen Hurts can't carve this secondary up, then we have a problem. There's no other way to look at that. We have a serious problem. This right here should be a game. I know it's division rival. Don't get me wrong. It's a division rival, and division rivals always tend to play each other very competitively. I get that. But the Cowboys defense is just not that. Their secondary in particular is just not that good. And like I said, Russell Wilson with the New York Giants carved them up. Why can't Jalen Hurts do it? I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to win this game because I'm sticking with the reverse psychology, and there's still a lot of question marks for me when it comes to this Eagles offense. So I'm picking the Cowboys to win 24-21. A field goal by their kicker, wins the game. They have possibly the best kicker in the league. I don't think that's really, that's exaggerating thing. Brendan Aubrey is probably the best kicker in the league. I say a field goal, 21-24 Cowboys. I'm doing that with fingers crossed, reverse psychology. The Eagles go out there and they absolutely dominate the Dallas Cowboys. That's what all of us Eagles fans want to see, because for me, there's no team I despise more than the Dallas Cowboys. So it's always great to beat this team. But I'm sticking with the reverse psychology like I've been doing the past few weeks. But, all three sides of the ball have to do their job. Offense, defense, special teams, they all have to do their job. Let's go out there, boys. Let's get the job done. Let's beat these Dallas Cowboys. Put ourselves a step closer to clinching this NFC East. The first time any team has done it back to back since the Eagles did in 04-05. Let's go out there, beat these Dallas Cowboys, extend the win streak to 4 straight games, and a second straight season of sweeping this team. Let's go out there and handle business, boys, because we got the Chicago Bears on Black Friday, the following Friday, and the Chicago Bears won't be a slouch. Those guys have been they've been leading some incredible comebacks by Caleb Williams the past few weeks, and I'll talk about the Bears later, but right now, get the job done against Dallas. At some point, I might get back to picking the Eagles to win regularly again, but I got to see this offense play more officially. I got to see that defense continue to dominate the way they've been dominating. Bringing in Jalen Phillips and bringing back Brandon Graham have been huge for this defense. This defense has been on a whole nother level since. But, like I said, as great as this defense has been, they need help from the offense. So I need the offense to finally get it together and go out there and play a complete game. So, yeah, I'm picking the Cowboys win 24-21. Obviously, hoping the opposite happens. The Eagles go out there and dominate the Cowboys. But it is in Dallas. And, you know, I'm using reverse psychology, hoping that the opposite happens. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Not much more to say. Let's get this W on Sunday afternoon. And let's get ready for the Chicago Bears on Black Friday. As always, go Birds. Spunky 1991 is out of here. Fly, go fly. Peace.
That's all, folks.